What up, dope people? It's your man Prof. This is another episode of Cigars with Friends. This week I got two of my homies that I've been rocking with for years, man. I got Coach Kenneth Hunter. I got my boy Lo Simmons, aka you know him as Lo 14. What's happening, fellas?
Man, what's good? Hot rod.
Man, we in this thing,
What's
man.
good?
You know we gonna do what we do. Lo, what's popping with you? What you smoking on over there, boy? I see you firing it up.
Hey, I'm going with the whoever was at the smoker shop. His choice was today, imported Ashton, made by hand, something. I don't know. It was $12, man. Let's go.
So it should be a good smoke, huh?
I know, right? I'm still rocking with the 263 joints. I got
let me know when I can do the honors. Let me know when I can.
Go ahead, fire him up. Yeah, I'm still rocking with the 263 joints, man. I got like two left. So when I go back to Detroit.
I don't know how you do the show.
I got to re-up. No, go ahead, fire him up. You know what I'm saying? Fat roll up. He driving right now, so he ain't smoking with us, but he's definitely here to kick it with us, man. And a few different things we're going to talk about tonight. One thing I want to talk about was the podcast space in general, because a lot of trending topic this last week has been Joe Budden podcast and what they've been going through over there. So not just to be focused on his podcast, but just talking about doing business, because we are, you know, in the sense of doing business, but as far as like doing business with family or friends, because I noticed that I think by them being his friends, they trusted him, and he got greedy when the bag came in.
You already know when it comes to family and business, man. As much as we love to try to take care of each other, man, sometimes that stuff don't always mix, man, you know. Especially when them bags start coming around, and, you know, a lot of guys feel, you know, some entitlement on what their real network is. So, man, you know, that's a touchy thing, man. That's one of the reasons I've never liked doing business with families sometimes, you know, because I don't want that to come in between us when it really gets business. So, you know, as much as you want to uplift them and bring them up with you, sometimes you gotta, you know, you gotta have that gotta be a separate life sometimes, because, you know, some family take advantage of that, man. You know, whether it's not working up to capacity or to the standard, or whether it's how you value what they bring to the table. You know, and a lot of times their value is different than what you got a business value in mind. And a lot of times, you know, they thinking of some other things and kind of put their value and their network above what you think. So, you know, it happens like that a lot of times, man, especially with these podcasts, man. These podcasts, you know, all that sponsorship is starting to come into the game. And, you know, you got the views, you don't get that money. You know, some people really think you get money that you ain't getting to on top of it. So, you know, it's a touchy thing. Real touchy.
Yeah, I think they situation on both sides, I feel a type of way about it. Like, I feel that he was kind of dirty for playing his people the way he played them, but then on the flip, they grown men and they sign contracts. So obviously, if you sign the contract, you're not an owner. You're even a work for hire, or you're an employee of the network. And so that's what really kind of threw me off. Like, you knew where you stood when you signed the paperwork. I'm sure y'all read it or had y'all lawyers read it over. So that was the kind of thing I'm like, because the big issue was like they built it up together, but Joe Budden pretty much is the owner of the shit, and he kind of like treat them like employees, which I thought was kind of foul, but that's the way they let him conduct the business. Because I remember a few months back, maybe even a year ago, they had Charlemagne the God on their podcast, and he was like, why y'all letting him name this Joe Budden podcast? And he called it out. He was like, so pretty much this is his thing, and y'all work for him. And fast forward, that's how it's all playing out. And it seemed like when the money came involved, from what I'm understanding is he gave them a raise during the pandemic, and they kind of got curious, like, hold up, if it's supposed to be slow right now, how can you afford to pay us? So they realized it was more money coming in than what expected. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's what the riff has started. But my thing was, why did you sign a contract? You know what I'm saying? They signed a contract as workers, and they get like a profit share. And he told them to open up the book. So I'm kind of like, I feel like y'all been in this industry long enough to know that you got to make sure your paperwork is right, if y'all friends or not. You know what I'm saying? Because our podcast, like we got multiple shows. Nobody's under contract because we're not generating the revenue yet. But once the revenue gets to generate, then we got to do contracts. We got to let people know, like, okay, well, this is what you're making per episode. If you got sponsorships or ads, you get this percentage of the ads. So that way it won't be no bullshit in between. It seemed like he just did what he wanted to do and kind of played them. And they really didn't have too much to fight on because the contract that they signed. But on the flip, they did have a profit sharing their way. They got to disclose what's the profit of that they sharing. But, you know, if you own the books, you can manipulate the books and say, well, we made this and this is allocated to this part of the company and this is only allocated to the show where you only get a percentage of that. So I just think it was foul for them to be actual friends and the shit to go out the way that it's going. You know what I mean? I just think that business wise, they should have been smarter, and then business wise on him, he was on some sucker shit. If them your people, you know what I'm saying? But they all grown men and they sign contracts. So I mean, how much empathy can you have on that? You know. And then the podcast.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Lo.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My bad. No, I you know what Fats is mentioning and combined what you saying, I look at it a couple ways where it's you learn it in whatever order you want to figure it out. Is I eventually learn my worth. You know, I've had so many attempts at this. Maybe I started to know my worth, or do you know that right away in the beginning? Now, the second thing, like I say, no matter what order, now you're thinking about negotiation. You know, who are good negotiators, whether you in the independent world or you in the corporate world. You know, that's something you got to be hip to and take care of yourself and have that selfish bone of really understanding. Just because you throw a number out there don't mean they're going to say no. Or if they do say yes, wow, look at you. You asked what you wanted for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting dynamic for them, for one, but they was friends, you know what I'm saying? And for you to play your boys like that, I just think that he just a foul nigga on the individual tip. Then on the business aspect, I think they were stupid for signing up as like owners that are being a partnership, because in their eyes, they feel like they built it up. They 300 some episodes in. I think they all started as a collective at like episode 70. So that was before the money, you know what I'm saying? So they build up to the money. I kind of felt like they pulled the salt and pepper Cinderella type move on them. You know what I'm saying? When the bag came, well, this is my business and y'all are employees. So I just thought it was kind of some foul shit on Joe part. And then I thought it was just dumb on Rory and Maul for not having their shit together though. I mean, Maul brother is fucking one of the co-founders of Rockefeller Records, so they know the business. I don't know how you just put your trust in somebody like that. At the end of the day, y'all can be friends, but if we doing business, that paperwork got to make sense. And they signed off on it, so they kind of set themselves up for failure in that aspect. Like I say, they got a profit sharing in it too, so they gonna get some more bread out the deal. But I just thought like the whole situation had some foul inconsistencies on both ends, though. You know what I mean?
Right. But you know, I was listening to Joe Budden's talk on it a little bit, man. I didn't hear it all, but I know a lot of people, especially stars, that start up podcasts feel like he feel like it wouldn't be no podcast if it was no Joe Budden's. And that's kind of what he was saying. You know, he was like, you know, nobody know who the fuck them two are. They only know them two because of me, you know. And so I get that part to it too, you know. And like I said, sometimes, you know, we overvalue ourselves, and we riding the coattails of somebody else's success, even though we bring value to it in a different way. You know, that shit tough, man. You know, you trying to bring them up, and who knows to say what they got. You know, we don't know how much they got. We don't know what the numbers and the figures is, but the way Joe Budden was kind of putting it, like, you know, they got broke off properly. You know, he thought he was paying them, especially compared to what other people getting. He was saying it like he was playing, you know, they got a smooth tape. So, you know, who really knows, man?
Yeah, and I think honestly, for how much work you have to put in, as far as like what they doing, maybe 2 days out the week. I heard they was making a decent amount of money, but once you realize it's more money and then your percentage is when you feel like you're being cheated, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? So even if you give me a decent salary, but I have in my contract that I get a share of the profit of that ad revenue or whatever they sharing the profit from, then your mind goes like, hold on. So just because I'm getting paid good, I'm not gonna let you cheat me neither, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because even though I'm getting paid, probably overpaid, but you still owe me more. You overpaying me because you underpaying me on this side.
Right. I feel like
Yeah, so that's where it get tricky at. I know once we get to the point where the ads is coming in, the sponsorships is rolling, we're gonna have to do it right. We're gonna sit down and do a contract. Like I say, this is what you get paid per episode. And if you running this many ads on your show, you'll get a percentage of it. You know what I'm saying? This will be your percentage, and everybody agree upon it. Because at the end of the day, understand that like being the owner of it or whatever, you bringing a lot more to the table, but you're only as good as your team.
No doubt.
Because you know what I'm saying? Because without them doing the show together, the numbers wouldn't be where it was at for you can actually go get them other bags. Like I think he just lost some sponsorships too from that sexual harassment claim from old girl. Because if you notice, the last episode didn't have the Cash App logo on it. Because you have a Cash App logo, and he always shout out Cash App. We sponsored, we empowered, blah 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 by Cash App. This last episode that aired after old girl Olivia Dope said that she was sexually harassed, nigga, Cash App wasn't on there. And that Cash App sponsorship was big.
Bro, no doubt. You already know it is, bro.
Well, you know, acquisitions always make a business play it safe.
Yeah, for sure. Because they got to protect themselves too. So I get it, but it's just crazy though, because we in a space now, as far as with COVID. COVID has really took podcasts to the next level, and it generates a lot more money and revenue in it than what it was, because it was on an incline. But when COVID hit and nobody had nothing else to do, it made podcasts more popular because it made more people do podcasts, and it made more people check them out because they ain't have shit else to do.
Right.
And that's why
podcasts, they definitely blowing up, especially now that most of them is going through, the satellite versions and all that. And, you can reach more markets now. Back in the day you was only local, but now you can podcast and you can go out everywhere, So
yeah,
a lot of businesses have picked up on that because people don't like to leave the comforts of their home no more, So because of that, the podcast business is great business right now.
yeah, and it's the new point of entertainment, and that's where the marketing dollars going to have to start shifting. Most marketing dollars are not shifting to podcasts, and it's also to like YouTube channels, because that's where everybody consuming. If you consuming your entertainment through podcasts or through like YouTube, then all these big brands, they're gonna have to come to that. Well, they're on their way. They're already coming to partner up with these different podcasts, different YouTube channels, because they know if you got viewers, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna want to advertise there. So it turned into a whole new business model. Because a lot of podcasts wasn't as profitable, you know what I'm saying? I was doing podcast shit in like 2008, you know what I'm saying? We was running them through Blog Talk Radio. You can run that shit straight through your phone. And to see the progression and how far it's went now, where it's getting people's shit is syndicated, you know what I'm saying? They might take your podcast and play it as a radio show or vice versa. And then it's so easily to be distributed, you know what I'm saying? Like tomorrow, this podcast, us talking shit, will be on iTunes and all the other digital streaming platforms, so it's easier to get them out too. So just been a point of that now it's a whole nother business that people can have. Like, you ever wanted your own radio show and you couldn't get plugged into WJLB or whatever the other station is right now you can pretty much run your own show yourself. So it definitely just started up a whole nother business for real.
Well, no doubt, man. Look at what's about to happen with Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown went from about 2,000 fans to over 40,000 fans overnight.
Yeah.
And he done started his YouTube channel. The podcast is coming, and he the hottest thing going right now. And it's all,
on his next move.
Up his mouth and, right. And all he did was just open his mouth and be him and speak his truth. And now the world want to hear it, And so his numbers about to be crazy. He about to ink a deal. Trust me, with somebody. And
somebody gonna drop it. Yeah, somebody gonna pay him, especially if we keep the momentum going. Because the thing about the internet, we can be owning something Monday, something else can happen next week, and motherfuckers ain't even talking about that situation anymore. So hopefully he capitalized on it while the fire is hot, because you know what I'm saying. Once it dwindle down and something else happens, then we're gonna shift to something else.
I was gonna say the nice thing, he gets to control the narrative. You know, that's dope on his end with him being able to control the narrative. He can tell his side of any story or any thing that they thought about him. You know, so he could clarify, like y'all say, and good for him.
Yeah, and it's giving us all that medium. You know what I'm saying? Like that simple. That's simple to get on here and talk. Like somebody hit me up asking like how to start a podcast. Like, what's the best way to do it? And I'm like, shit, just start it. Even if you're starting with your cell phone, you know what I'm saying? Just start it. Just get to talking. Get to whatever you feel be you, and get it out there. And if people like it, they're gonna fuck with it. They don't matter what it's on. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you look at the quality of he posting from a cell phone, that shit look blurry as hell. You know what I'm saying? But the numbers is going up. You know what I'm saying? People is sharing it. It's motherfuckers on YouTube that's actually making the video, and they say something at the beginning, and the whole video is just him going off. So it's people just piggybacking off what he doing. But that's the climate that we in right now.
No doubt, man. People love drama. Drama always gonna sell, bro.
Man, always gonna sell. And I mean, shit, we talking about it. So obviously, it's reaching everybody.
Oh man, when it's on every network in America, everybody that got a podcast that somebody been talking about it, or they've been replaying him, or you know, tweeting him out. You know, it's just been crazy. IG been crazy. They love him. You know, and you know, he just simply speaking his mind. He's not scared to speak his mind.
Yeah, and like I say, he's not held by any entity. He's on his own. So he's not on ESPN's where he got to filter himself, or you know what I'm saying. So that makes it so raw and uncut, and people gonna love it because he's talking some real shit. A lot of shit he's saying ain't no just bullshit neither.
Man,
so a lot of shit he's talking making a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think people gonna gravitate to it because every time I see the shit, I click on it. I done ticked on about 7-8 videos of him, and he's still going. So every time somebody says something in a comment, he's firing off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him, man. That's my dog, man. I ain't even mad at him. I wish him nothing but success, man. It's funny because seeing him finally speak up for himself, man. And
he been taking shots for a long time.
Man, a long time, bro. Dude, they got a YouTube video on Stephen A. Smith alone, just going off on him for years. Like it's full of Stephen A. going off on him, and I'm just like, wow. And
if he's 7 feet and ain't putting up no numbers, most people off on you anyway.
But at the end of the day, he accomplished a dream that we all wanted. No matter if he played 0 minutes, had 0 points, he got a fucking in an NBA jersey and a contract. Don't forget he did make some money too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
63 million, bro.
Yeah, so you know that still ain't shit to laugh at. You know what I'm saying? We all wanted to live that NBA dream, and he made it. We quick to criticize, like even though that's the part of being a fan of sports. We criticize motherfuckers, but at the end of the day, you got to respect it. Motherfucker made it to the league. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I tell people that all the time. I be like, how can you call somebody
Fat must got hit into the mountains. You cut out. What'd you say, bro?
I was saying he's the top of the top. It's only 400 of them jobs.
Yeah. It ain't like football. Ain't that many people on the team.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a hard accomplishment on his own. And what really was on some shit that really got me when he was talking about he was saying like all these people he called out Charlemagne, he was like how we tear each other down. And he kind of went deep on that shit, and I was like, because it's all good to crack jokes and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do. That's what we've been doing all our life. But he hit a point like, you know what I'm saying, why are we so quick to beat them up, beat our own people down? And then I was like, you You know what I'm saying? Like either way, okay, he didn't have the career that he wanted, or you know what I'm saying, he's the number one pick that he didn't live up to it, but he still made it. He lived his dream. He made it to the NBA, and he made bread off of it. That if he did what he's supposed to do, he go.
Any veteran status too. Over 10
Yeah, he
years,
was in
he
that.
get that check. Like
Yeah,
12.
he was on
Not only that,
pension, wasn't
man. Yeah, and he did a lot for a lot of people, man. Not just his mom. Like I tell people all the time, I've seen some of the acts he's done, you know, including for myself. You know, here's a dude that, you know, would take me out. I ain't never had to pay for nothing. I'm in his suite at the Staples Center with his baby mama and, you know, his people, his kids, his agents. He ain't have to do none of that, bro. That's coming out of his pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he a real dude for sure. You know, and the basketball side, he didn't develop like he wanted to develop, like he said, because he was always on a team with monsters. You know what I'm saying? You got a monster, bro. Only 2 people get shots in a game. You know, so it is what it is, man. And at that point, you know, when he came in the league, big man was starting to become extinct. You know, it was like, you know, everything started running through the guards anyway. You know, so you know, you got an 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid that comes to the league. Vets already don't really mess with you like that. You know, and especially when you coming to take their spot. So you already know how it is. Then you play that's different, man. You know, and then the battle, the injuries and all that on top of it. You know, that shit tough. But he, like he said, he roughed out 13 years though. You know, so that's a blessing in itself to me, man. Anybody that make it in the league over 5 years, I salute them. You know, just making it, we salute them. You know,
That's facts, man. That's real. That's real. That's my thing. Like, nigga, you made it to the league. I ain't never make it to that motherfucker. So you know what I'm saying? You made it. Then to stick around 13 seasons ain't easy neither.
13, yeah.
Right. I mean, you held the best motherfuckers in the world off for 13 years, bro. That's hard to do, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So
yeah, I wonder, you gotta look at who he had to guard. Who was in the league then?
Right. Not only that, man, then, you know, the thing that touched me the most when it really hit home for me when he said,
that nigga must be driving through the mountains. Every time he say something, he freeze up.
He got right at the most suspenseful part. It was the most suspenseful part. He was gonna say what Kwame said to him, like, this is a real deal. We got live interaction. Who know him?
Fat, you breaking up. You breaking up. Whatever you just said, we ain't getting none of that.
Okay, yeah, we rolling through these mountains.
You broke up right
man.
at the good part too.
Yeah, I was saying what
you was about to tell us what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, that nigga, he driving, so he got to bear with us with his connection because he cutting in and out. Let me see if I can bring him out and bring him back in.
That's out west. He out west.
Yeah, he out west on his way to the casino.
Look like he got some.
He out there in the mountains. So he hitting the mountains, and his signal is trash. But that whole situation in the hole, we'll get him back when he pop back in. But that whole situation in the hole was crazy, but it's entertaining at the same time, man. So, I mean, teach his own, man. I hope they figure it out. I hope he actually turn this into something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he get him a podcast. I know his platform is definitely taking off. You know what I'm saying? It is definitely taking off. See, we done lost Fat, man. So it's definitely taking off.
Yeah,
so
I mean, like you say, how that and that. Oh man, all is well. I'm out here in the backyard. You got me outside, man. We had about 85 today.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm in the backyard too. Like it's about to rain. That's why
I know you're used to that, but
yeah, 80 shit. It was 90s. 96 today. So yeah, you know what it is. So, ain't you starting a podcast?
Man, I'm supposed to get it cracking. I should have actually put it to you like this, man. I went and bought the mic.
Okay.
I got the mic together. I really got to come up with a name. I got a partner of mine. Shout out to my boy Dre on the West Coast. I got to put that pressure on him and say, yo, let's get this rolling. But yeah, we got a name for it. Yeah, so
Cool.
I'm
We're
definitely
gonna
gonna tap in, and because earlier you was mentioning about the platforms, and that's the biggest thing about the podcast. How many different platforms and places people can find your show. But that's what's up.
Yeah. I
Bats, you
mean,
back?
are you back? And there's so many different
Yeah, I'm
places
back,
that
man.
you can distribute it through. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't hard to get it out there. Like I said, the hardest part is actually starting it. You know what I'm saying? Once you get it going, man, you always upgrade.
I got the logo. I just need to just fire up the engine.
You got to get that rolling, man. 2020 and 2021 is the year of just taking any dream or any business and shooting for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like it's that time. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like a podcast is your thing, go for it, man. I think you got the talent. You've been doing this. You've been in this type of space forever. So why not get on here and do your version of what you want to do? You know?
Oh yeah. You know what? Let me quit being shy about it, man, because it is in the moment of the mix. Because your voice, it's an instrument, but you could do knowledge. On the corporate tip, I'm into training, and on the flip side, out here on DJing and obviously doing the videos, photos. So on the movie tips, even on the videos, you got to direct and you got to tell people what to do. So it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
It's a unique world. I never say I'm a cameraman. I'm just a man with the camera. But at the end of the day, I capitalize on it all. So it's a new space, and it's just a matter of just getting out there.
Man, like I tell everybody, man, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. And then you got so much to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even on this show, we discuss some trending topics. We talk about different shit in the community. Then sometimes we just shoot the shit, and sometimes we talk business and try to give away information. Like I really think I'm not afraid to fail. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a big believer on the big leap. Like go for it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. If you fail, you ain't like it be the first time you failed. But I never want to have that regret. Like damn, what if I didn't do it? Should I did it? Because I've been having like doing this podcast shit. Like I say, I started in 2008, and off and on with it from then and there. And this time in 2019 came around, I was like, you know what? I'm about to do it again, and I want to do it my way. I'm not being connected with nobody else's station or they show. I'm gonna run it my way and do it. And it's been like I say, it's been growing, man, and people been supporting it. And like I say, we got the app now, and we're just trying to keep it going, man. I just encourage anybody that wants to get in, especially in the podcast space. I think like I think a lot of people overthink it. I think a lot of people overthink it, and it's really not that hard.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all
I got to
get
this certain type of mic, or I need this mixer, this program, I need this computer. Yeah. Like I got to spend $5,000 when all I got to do is look into my phone and say something.
Yeah, that's your starting point. Now you can always upgrade, but you got a starting point, man. The phone is a camera, a video camera, and it's gonna be a recording device. You know what I'm saying? Like if we had to go bare knuckles or we out of town, and I don't got all this equipment, I do the phone. That's simple.
Yeah. And I peep this. I've been a fan on most things all my life. Obviously, first off, like with hip hop, being a fan. So as a fan, you start looking at stuff and things, what they call trends, is basically how I see. Like you can kind of predict how it's gonna go. You know how to know where the viral moments are gonna happen, or just how to capitalize, on them particular situations. So I think now, when we say, as far as like the podcasting, trying to get my thought, when we say with the podcasting, it's just another way to deliver what you're doing. I like to be that now we can contact our network and then hear from them and like collaborate on a resource. I think for you and your different which you got more shows, a lot of different content and a lot of good content. So yeah, I'm subscribing because I need real-ish radio.
That's the plan, man. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So that way, like I said, Like you'd have been on 2 shows. You was on the first episode of Let's Talk About It, and now you on Cigars with Friends. And like I say, we got different shows, that touch different demographics, and hopefully it intertwines to bring everybody together. You know what I'm saying? To check out what we got on it. But the platform for me is I think that me personally, my voice being heard. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to talk about like what I got going on. I like to talk about business. I like to learn shit. I like to get information. So this podcast, like last week, we was talking about crypto. We was talking about investing. So it's always, even though if we on here just shooting the shit, you can always get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? And like I want to motivate people. I want people to see this and be like, damn, he did a podcast. I wanted to do a podcast. If he could do it, I know I can do it. We from the same place. I'm from 3751 10th Street. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like anything is obtainable, not even just in podcasting, just in any genre, any business you want to jump off into, as far as like the t-shirts or photography. Like this last 3 weeks, nigga, I've been on planes flying to Detroit, filming and shooting weddings. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. And I want to get back and talk about it. Talk about like how you can start a business and you can scale it. And even me being in a different state, I can still touch my clients that's in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? The internet made the world so small. Like I still do the flyers and all that shit. I got my uncle that he'll pick them up and he'll drop them off for me. So it's just like I'm still there. But it just showing people, man, is other ways. And I hope seeing somebody that they know or somebody that look like them doing different things that it motivate them to do it as well. But there's so much like this information that we don't know. And if we do know it, we rarely share it. So I feel like this is a platform for that. Like I'm saying, like we 3 black men on here talking, you know what I'm saying, giving up game, showing love to each other and trying to spread shit to other people. So I just think, and I think podcasting is really about to be the new information wave, you know what I'm saying? Because most people don't watch the news or sometimes they want to get info from podcasts or just hear people commentary or they opinion on things, you know what I'm saying? And like I like to talk about trending topics here and there, but I also like to talk, always somehow comes back to business. Because I want to see everybody win. Like I said, there's a lot of dough floating around right now. Capitalize off that shit. Start your business. Make t-shirts. Do a podcast. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And I tell you, one of the things, I say you're right. And one of the things that's in need is people need to know the steps of the process. It's not, I like the fact that we can tell our stories and where we started and how we got there. But tell them that time where you ain't charged enough and you fell short on your budget and you ain't have enough resources to produce whatever you needed. Tell them the time how you were just hooking people up, but you couldn't upgrade on your equipment and change your equipment to keep up with technology because you didn't plan or charge accordingly for that and you couldn't fix your vehicle. Like those are the stories that I think people need to hear and get planned for with operation in general. When you start learning those steps, you don't make those mistakes. You start accepting deposits and writing those up so you can have a little bit more resources to network or not to network, to have to go get equipment and deposit rentals.
That's big. That's even coming on contracts, deposits, and pricing right. Like I did a wedding 2 weeks ago and one of my cameras fell off the tripod. A $2,000 camera with a $1,600 lens on it fell off the tripod. So the fucking camera is done. It cost me more to fix it than what I paid for it. Luckily, the lens had a filter on it, so it broke the filter and not the lens. You know what I'm saying? That was my 70 to 200. So, and people got to realize, like, why you charge this much? Like, for one, you're paying for a skill set, and then you're paying for what I paid for. Like, if I'm coming there with $10,000 worth of equipment in my book bag, I'm not going there to get $100.
Right.
Like people, we gotta understand.
And then when you get drunk during karaoke and you drop my mic, I'm just supposed to be like Ubu the fool. That's $700.
Yeah, all that's accountable. And in business, sometimes we just jump in and go because we don't have mentors or anybody to tell us the way. Because a lot of shit I learned just in having it. Like shit, I remember doing $300 weddings because you're trying to get your name out there. You know what I'm saying? So you taking a low ball. And sometimes shit ain't even worth it. Like some of the weddings I'm shooting this year is 2020 redos because of COVID. And I'm really not even, I'm losing. Like what it is I can't charge them a travel fee if they already booked me before I moved. You know what I'm saying? So those weddings, I got to eat the travel. So I got to be cost efficient in my budget and to make sure I find the cheapest flight. I'm in the cheapest room. I'm there the shortest time as possible. So that way I ain't spending more money on food, more money on gas. You know what I'm saying? I can get the rental car for 1 day instead of 2 days to make it make sense. See, that's all in part of the budget. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't even understand that you got to have that expense account or have it set up where you can understand that you can do what you do without losing. You know what I'm saying? Like this wedding I got to do this weekend. It's a chapel wedding. Go ahead.
Budget.
Yeah, because I like this weekend I got a chapel wedding, so it's not a big package.
Budget.
So once I count the flight, once I count the rental car and the hotel, I'm taking a chunk of what I'm doing, but I got to eat that. It's a part of the business. You know what I'm saying? So now I got it. So what I had to do was the other weddings that had to pay the travel fees for the 2021 weddings. Now I had to equate everything up so I can skim a little bit out of that wedding to pay for this one, so I won't lose. So it's different ways to do that. Like I really like last weekend, bro. I think I spent maybe like $10 on food. I flew in, my mom cooked, so I ate her cooking and ate the leftovers the next morning. I had a hotel with a refrigerator and microwave. But just that little saving of money, that $50-$60 I would have spent on food, now it comes back to my profit. And I planned it that way because I knew that this wedding wasn't one that attached travel fee because it was a 2020 redo for COVID. So I think a lot of that, and I think allocating marketing and then having some type of budget to let you know, all right, well, this is your profit. All right, this is your profit for this one. This is your profit for that one. What can I take from this bigger profit to make this one make sense so I don't lose on this end? So it's just about being able to play with numbers and just understand what you have to do. Like people can say, like I talked to my homeboy, he was like, "Yeah, man, you doing your thing, traveling." I'm like, "Nigga, this shit's beating my body up." You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like last week, I flew in Friday night, got there Saturday morning, shot the wedding, started at 12, flew back home on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And then that takes a toll, but I got to be able to manage all that so it makes sense because I'm flying all the way back. Like Delta had some sales for May. It was like $150 round trip to Detroit. So I booked every flight in March. I booked every May flight because they was on sale, but it made sense. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to do all that, to cut the corners you can cut. You know, I got a Marriott hookup, so I use that. I always stay at Marriott so I can save money. You know what I'm saying? And so that way I'm bringing home the money to the family instead of spending it on expenditures. You know what I'm saying? So all that is key shit that nobody told me. I had to learn that shit the hard way. Undervaluing myself and losing money at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I had to figure that shit out. And that's something nobody taught us. They don't teach it in school. They don't teach you how to run a business and make sure this is that. Go ahead.
No, that money is the business's money. Like you could maybe pay for certain expenses, but that money is really not yours. That money goes into your business so your business could grow. You know, because however you can leverage that business later down the road as you start to get to the point of, oh man, I need a space. So therefore I have money for it now because I've been like putting it to the business, and I think it helps you keep in sight on your goals. And I really think like we mentioned earlier, like the direction of people not really knowing how to get to that point. Yeah, I love to say, hey, read this 300-page book or go take these, you know, these classes, but what's the way they can get introduced to it? Do you bring them along to help them? Give them
some got to be hands-on.
Are they like the Joe Budden people, or?
A lot of it got to be hands-on. Just for instance, last week I had got a Ronin stabilizer, and I'm watching YouTube videos to get the balance right, and I just couldn't get it right. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I called my mans. I called B Hughes from Full Film. I say, B, I'm trying to get this motherfucker balanced. This shit is not working. We need a video chat. We video chatted. He went through it with me 10 minutes. I'm good.
Shout
you know what I'm
me.
saying? Yeah, but to have that resource in my network, you feel what I'm saying?
That's the guy.
And that's a good thing to have, man. People networking with people. We sometimes we get with the fact that, oh, if somebody's doing the same thing you doing, y'all can't network together or throw each other business. Bro, you're one person. I don't give a fuck how talented you is. This Saturday, you can only do one event.
You can't be everywhere.
It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So therefore,
man, you know what's so sweet about my clients?
What's that?
I was gonna say the clients I've been blessed with, they trust me because a referral I give is as solid as I am. And most often, and 99% of the time, I would give a referral of someone I've literally worked with
Yeah, exactly. You got to, because at the end of
and
the
vouch
day,
for them.
if it don't go
So
right, they gonna looking at you like you crazy. Like, man, you sent me this motherfucker. He didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, so that's big. That's just like say for
oh
instance, my
man,
boy Luke.
been
My
there.
boy
That's
Luke.
happened. That's that you
I
learn
shoot
from
Luke so
experience is why I'm saying that.
yeah. Jobs I can't do, I shoot them to my people. And we all can eat. That's a beautiful. I feel more enjoyment that I can if I can't do it, I can send it to somebody I know and they eating off of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of it. But
Oh,
most people, like I
that's
said,
you.
most people, yeah, man, I'm throwing some motherfucking Gary Payton and Sean Kemp oops out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, and it's good. And then the crazy part about it is
Full court
you
bounce
help,
passes.
yeah, you helping your people, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I want people to get from watching these especially this podcast, is even though we, like I said, we shoot shit, whatever, we talk about what's going on, but we still give information that you can learn from. Just this small conversation on how to try to run your business better. It can help somebody that's just starting off. Like I know a lot of people jumping in the t-shirt game. Like understanding about getting pre-order so you won't get stuck with a lot of inventory, or doing your shirts on demand. So that way you're not got 50 shirts sitting here printed and you can't sell them. So they sitting. You got to wait till somebody that need a medium come get this one, a medium red shirt. You know what I'm saying? So little
That's
tidbits
money
like
just
that.
sitting there in the hallway.
Like
Closet.
I tell all my homeboys that get in the business, I say, nigga, I bumped my head so y'all can duck. I done been through most of the bullshit. So you know what I'm saying? So a conversation can save you a lot of money. And it's real. Like literally, like, man, there's so many people that reach out to me, especially on the t-shirt shit. And it's been a great hustle. T-shirt, I think, is one of the best businesses to be in ever, because it's low cost and there's a high profit. Because a t-shirt ain't shit but $2 until you put a logo on it, and then that's when the worth comes to.
Right.
And I think that's one of the small. I think that's a business that you can start with low money. You can start under $1,000 and start a full-fledged t-shirt business. You actually can go cheaper than that, but I would say, have at least 1,000 on it. You know what I'm saying? But it's revenue. People gonna always get shirts, bro. You got family reunions, you got fucking sporting teams, you got bowling leagues, you got motherfuckers that want birthday shirts, bridal parties. T-shirts is never going away. Never.
Right.
You got RIP shirts. Trust me, that's one of the most sustainable businesses out there. Think about it. You're always going to buy a t-shirt. Right or wrong?
No doubt.
Yeah, it's a very lucrative business, and like I said, the demand is always going to be there. So I just think that's one good business that people should start. I mean, not saying you should, but if you're trying to get into business and don't know what business to get into, I think that's the lowest one with the lowest startup. I think it give you that'll yield the biggest return. Because t-shirts, like I say, it's not going anywhere. It's not. It's a fact. Because I've been doing t-shirts since college.
That was my first business I ever started. I tried. I used to customize the Dickie shirts with the patches.
Oh, okay, yeah. See what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And then
I had found a seamstress, and we worked something out, and I was able to customize some shirts. Came up with the low 14 gear. That was my first entrepreneurial adventure, and then found something that's I really enjoy, like, tapped in with you on the photo video tip. And then, the music just kind of came in its own way. And after I was at a wedding, seeing somebody do that, like I said, I want to go do the DJ, because it ain't no post-production. You pack up and you dip.
Yeah, that's one thing I liked about the photo booth. Once you done, you done. Ain't nothing you ain't got to deal with the get back. You ain't got to go send nobody no more pictures. You ain't got to do no edits. Once you break that bitch down, you off to the next.
I'm behind right now.
Yeah, so that's all. Yeah, well, I'm not behind. I'm still on schedule, but I want to get a little more ahead because I want to take a break after next week. This weekend is my last weekend in Detroit into June, so I want to chill out for a minute. So I'm trying to get everything knocked out next week. But yeah, man, I just really think that, man, we got so many ideas and so many gifts, and I just think we don't tap into them. And I don't know if it's fear.
Yep.
I don't know if it's fear of failure or just. What did you say, Fat? You had cut out.
No,
Yeah, failure, fear, rejection.
you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, go ahead, Fat.
Uh, yeah, I was saying, man, it's a little bit of the fear of rejection, but then our people, we we hard headed a little bit. Some of us feel like, because of the status of what you make, you feel like you don't have to respect or listen to the ideal from somebody else. You know,
Mhm.
our people got it the worst, where it's like, back when we came up, bro, like I listened to everybody. I ain't care if you was a crackhead off the street. If you had something knowledgeable I can gain from, where I'm not gonna make that same mistake, I'm gonna listen. In this generation, man, the kids, they don't respect you unless you either come from money or you got a lot of clout, and popularity behind you. If not, they not trying to hear your ideals. They not trying to follow your lead. They just not gonna mess with it. And so, that's the problem we face when it comes to doing black business, especially.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
And a prime example, man. Look, no, look at all the multi-million black millionaires it is in today's time, and even billionaires, and yet HBCUs still don't have money to do certain things. The football teams, the best to
Yeah.
half the games, they don't have they're not on a major network yet. They don't even have a networking deal yet. They the only league in the whole country without a networking deal at the Division One level. So how how that type of stuff supposed to been changed, man. Somebody supposed to say, hey, this ain't right. Let's start giving back, and Oprah and some other people are starting to do some things now, but these are things that we as black people should have been doing, bro. Like we supposed to, especially the heavyweights out here. And I know people tried, and it's hard for us to just come together and accept some type of leadership. But man, in order for it to start, in order for us to get right as a people, it start at the grassroots level, the ground level, and then you got to go make sure the HBCUs out of there, they know what's needed, how to run a business, it's how to get our people involved in things, how to give our people some of those opportunities, man. And it's just unfortunate that it's even taken. We in 2021, and we still dealing with the same issues that our grandfathers dealt with, bro. Like, it hasn't really materialized like it should have, man. And so that's the only disappointing part. And you see that in all walks of life. Not just
Yeah, we got a comment from my boy Chris. He said he loved what Primetime is
sports,
doing, helping to
entertainment,
push
or
the envelope.
everyday business.
HBCU. Yeah, I don't know if you see the comment on the screen, but Chris Collins said, I love what Primetime is doing and helping to push the envelope. He said HBCUs weren't really pushed to him as a team.
Right.
It really wasn't pushed to none of us as far as in the sports world, because in our mind is we had to go to the big college to make it to the next level. Because I actually went to a HBCU. I played ball for Hampton University in Virginia. And I'm be honest with you, I wasn't even hip that they was Division One until they started recruiting me. I didn't even know that they was a Division One program. And so yeah, I didn't even know. And that was what I went there. I transferred from JUCO in 2002. So before that, I didn't even know. I knew the year before because they had beat Iowa State in the tournament, the big upset. But before that, I didn't even know that they were a Division One program. I didn't even know that HBCUs had the MEAC conference, which is kind of breaking up now because a lot of the MEAC schools are going to bigger conferences. But like he said, it wasn't pushed to him. It wasn't pushed to me neither. I didn't even know it really existed. So that's I think that narrative has to be definitely has to be pushed on the kids to give them the opportunity to even try to do the shit. You know what I'm saying? If they don't know, or now I know with all that's going on right now, is bringing more attention to HBCUs, but on the flip, it's so far behind. You know what I mean? It's so far behind, and we need to push that narrative, man. Because if you got the skill set, they coming to see you. They gonna find you. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the internet making the world so small now. Mo, your mic muted.
Yeah,
Mo, you done muted your mic.
Oh yeah, I had airplanes and stuff in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, hey, we live. We gotta take it how it comes. You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of the business.
All
But
right. I ain't wanna be
oh, no,
disrupted.
I got all types of fucking fire. I heard fire engines in my background, all type of crazy shit. So it is what it is. But I really think we need to push more energy into the HBCU space because I think Masterpiece Son just signed with Tennessee State. I think that's a good look. The more people that go to more bigger names that go to them schools will bring that attention. I wish I knew what I knew now when I was coming out of high school. I would have tried to get me and all my homeboys, those top ranked players, to try to go to HBCUs to kind of change that narrative. But just like Chris said, shit, he didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't find out until they started recruiting me that they was D1. So I mean, that's something that we definitely need to push. And I mean, it's coming. I definitely think it's coming because like we're getting more conscious to what's going on in that space because HBCUs is getting more popular now. We talking about it's like how we having a conversation. There's the conversations being had at other places, and Dion, like you said, prime time is definitely putting that energy and that attention on HBCUs as far as from the football standpoint. And I think we should do the same thing with basketball because it's definitely a lot of talent there. And then we need to feed them schools because them schools was built for us because we couldn't go to the other schools. Now it's kind of just like segregation. Once segregation ended, we stopped supporting a lot of the black businesses in our community. And that's why all those businesses failed because we were so happy to go to the white businesses that we couldn't go to that we let our shit diminish. You know what I'm saying? I think that could be a situation of what's going on in the sporting field as far as we going to all those other schools and now the programs are not getting the attention or the funding or the money that the HBCUs can get if we took some of our talent there. Because think about it, if you look at every top team in the nation as far as NCAA, the top players for the most part are all black. Yeah. So imagine if you took that energy and took it to HBCU. Think of the Fab Five would have went to Hampton or Howard or the FAMU or the Coppin State or more. You know what I'm saying? Just think about what that would have did to that whole energy of.
They would have been HBCU. 5 black superheroes.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But if we don't have that knowledge to even think of what we were doing, because you think about, I'll go to Michigan, I can go to the league, and you can't really be mad at them for want to go to a big school that's producing professionals because that's your dream to go to NBA. But sometimes the shit is bigger than you because what you could do going to them HBCUs is going to help our people in the longer run. It's just my opinion. You know, I can't tell nobody what school to pick because that's your life and you got to deal with, you know what I'm saying, your choices. But I think if we put that energy in those top players go to HBCUs, we can switch that narrative real quick. Because the money and the TV is going to follow the stars. If LeBron James didn't go straight out of high school and went to HBCU, they would have had an ESPN. If they got if they high school games on ESPN, imagine what the college games would have been. You know what I'm saying? And that's just revenue. That's revenue for the HBCUs, and that's building up more of our community because that's what HBCU is. Even if you never went, but actually attended school, but you went to a homecoming or you just went and felt the energy, it's different. It's definitely different.
Right.
CIAA. Yeah.
Man, it's gonna take a group of guys, and I think like you said, Prime is doing a great job of really recruiting. Those guys that's leaving them high majors, and they transferring over to him, and then he brought a real professional staff in, with everybody got NFL experience. And so he got as good a staff as anybody in the country. So, he going to make some noise, man. He going to be able to do some big things. But the question is, when them high majors come calling, especially his alma mater in Florida State, because they gonna come calling. Is he gonna bail on the project, or is he gonna see this thing all the way out? Because
Mhm.
we already know he's great with kids. He knows the craft. He knows his stuff.
Mhm.
So he's going to have success, and he works his ass off. You can tell that already. And
Mhm.
the problem, which he don't have the normal people problem, because he made so much in the league and had so much sponsorship. So he may not have to take the big payday to move on, and take that high
Mhm.
major opportunity. So he may stick this thing all the way out, and that's what we need. We need
It
more.
seems like it's hard in it. It do seem like his heart is in it. And I just seen Chris just ask another question. He said, "How much did Norfolk State or TSU bring for making it to the tournament?" I don't know the exact number, but I know for just making the tournament, the school get a nice check.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know the exact number, but I know Hampton made it. They went a couple times, and so I know they made a nice little chunk of money off of that. I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely a substantial amount.
And here's the other thing to it: whatever you
Yeah,
make,
Chris coming with
you,
the facts.
yeah, you share that with your conference also. So part of that, is why some of those schools get the sponsorship they get, because the more teams that make it from your conference, the bigger check your conference get too. So it's not just a school
Yeah, but
thing;
when you
it's the conference thing too.
yeah, but when you're in a small conference like the MEAC, they only get one team in. Like whoever wins the MEAC tournament is the only team. They only getting one team in. So that's pretty much how that plays out. But yeah, like I say, man, it's something big. I hope we can push that narrative to get more kids to go to HBCUs. Let's build that up because that was built on the foundation that we wasn't accepted at other schools. And we got a big thing with eating off the other plate, and we forget about our own kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, it happened with segregation. Once we was able to eat at those white only diners, we stopped eating in the hood, and those businesses failed. And that's the reason why a lot of our stuff in our community is owned by outsiders, and that's just it is what it is. But man, I just want to say I appreciate y'all for kicking it. We almost at an hour, so we're gonna go ahead and break it down. And y'all got any shout outs y'all want to give up? You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to shouts out to y'all for coming through, man. Much success for y'all in the future. And I know, my man Ken is doing this thing on Last Chance U, doing this coaching thing. He's been coaching for years, helping the kids out. Low was all over the place. He was the educator, you know what I'm saying? He's doing video, pictures, audio, everything. About to start that podcast. I'm gonna apply some pressure on him so he can get that podcast going. And so y'all got any shouts out before we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go. Shout out to Cigars with Friends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to say shout out to Cigars with Friends for
First off,
having me
man,
tonight.
shout
This
out
is
to you.
Low Simmons at Low Simmons Instagram, Low 14 Twitter. We out here Facebook. You see us once again. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. You got anybody, Ken?
Man, yeah, shout out.
Every time you about to
Shout
say
out
something,
to
boy, you hit the mountains.
you, bro, for bringing us yeah, man. I'm sorry y'all caught me driving through these mountains, but I had just got off one podcast, and then my wife was rushing me to get in this damn car. So this our
No,
little
that's all
date
good.
night, man, and we had to travel
That's
through
what's
these
up.
mountains. But shout out to everybody tuned in. Shout out to Southwest, Ridge, E-Course, Los Angeles, of course, and everybody who tuned in to Last Chance U. If you ain't saw it yet, man, go check us out, and we appreciate everybody and everything, man. And you know me, Rod. All you got to do is hit
For sure.
me, bro.
For sure. I appreciate you.
here anytime you want me.
For sure. I just want to shout out to everybody that tuned in, that commented. Make sure y'all like and share it if you're watching it on Facebook. Make sure you like and share it if you're watching it on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you can drop every time we come. Y'all can see us and you get an alert. And download the Real Ish Radio app. The Real Ish Radio app is available at realisradioapp.com. And it's a free download. You can check it out. Let me switch these cameras up. It's a free download. You can check it out. And we got all the shows on the network is on there. You can watch video. You can buy merch. You can buy the I Support Realist Radio t-shirts, the whole nine. So make sure y'all check out that. And, man, just keep supporting. We dropping something every week. We got multiple shows, multiple different vibes. So just tap in with us. It's a weekly thing, Real Ish Radio. We also got a website, realishrradio.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Real Ish Radio. Everything is the same. So all our audio is on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. Anywhere you can find podcasts, we are there. Just search Real Ish Radio, or you can search the title of our shows like Cigars with Friends, or etc. So just want to appreciate everybody kicking it with us tonight, man. And y'all stay on real quick, and I'll catch y'all next week.